involved. And these tools with the Internet have really evolved in a short time with all the job boards and so forth that's out there. So best-in-class companies you're going to see using the Internet more and traditional media probably less. Let me go on then to screening. And screening is used to narrow down the candidates to those most likely to be a good fit for the job. It's a deselection step. And in the best case, it'll be a technology-enabled, fast and efficient process. So, for example, I'll go back to our sales job here at Lilly. We use a battery of over 100 questions that an applicant answers online. And these questions are based on the strategy work we just talked about. After they answer the questions, they get immediate feedback as to if they are to progress in the process or not. And so that system gives a quick answer, and it works 24/7 from any Internet PC in the world. And really, you think about these tools as online interviews, but they are screens. So I'll say to you on a personal note that if you're rejected by these tests, then you should not take it personally. They're basically saving you time in pursuing a job at a company where you're less likely to be successful. The second thing I'd share with you as an insight is that these tools are specific to one job in one company, and they should not be taken as broad career guidance because the same job at the next company may have a very different success profile associated with it. So see it for what it is and see it for what it isn't. But companies know that these screening tools are not perfect. So every day, good candidates are removed from the process due to the tools' imperfection. However, I'll say these tools are still used because many more suitable candidates are advanced than others, and this narrowing of the candidate pool in a fair and efficient manner is worth the downside of losing an occasional good candidate. Important to understand how they're used and the trade-off. Now, along with technology-based screens, companies may use screening to deselect, and typically this would be in the form of a phone interview lasting maybe 15 to 60 minutes. And these interviews are indeed a screen. They're looking for a valid reason to not advance a candidate in the process, and so they're checking a candidate's basic qualifications against the job requirements. Is the geography okay? Is the pay okay? What was your GPA? And those things that they want to screen on. So as a candidate, your strategy, I believe, at this stage should be twofold. First, I'd suggest being completely honest in your response, because anything that is important to the hiring decision will be verified later. So being honest up front saves everyone time. And second, your goal is to not get screened out so you can get to the selection stage. So you're wanting to give the interviewer good reasons to advance you, and you want to avoid giving them reasons to eliminate you from the process. And those candidates who make it through the screen are actually then moving into the selection phase where ultimately we hire somebody. So let me go to that. This part of the process is the most human-to-human intense. This is a stage where you interview with hiring managers, and it's a stage where most candidates may think comprises talent for most companies, but now you know that this is the final stage in a longer process, at least for top companies. This is the only stage in the process where we try to actually select somebody for hire. The previous steps were really focusing on getting the best population based on the attributes and then narrowing down the field of candidates. So what are hiring managers at the best companies going to decide to hire a candidate based upon? Well, primarily they're going to rely on examples you provide of past behaviors, including successes and failures. So here are some tips. First, preparation's key. A quick internet search can add many good sample questions to prepare for. And know not just one example of your past to answer those questions, but have several past examples for each question. The best hiring managers are going to dig deep and ask you for more than one answer. So you have to have several ready responses. And they're going to probe your responses to understand your role and what you learned from the experience. They want to hear about your successes as well as your failures, so be prepared to share both. And sometimes realize that admitting to a failure or a setback and recognizing the learning points can be a way more compelling piece of data than a success, because failures and setbacks happen in business all the time, and how you handle these in the past is very relevant to how you'll handle those in the future. So in summary, I would say role play with somebody to prepare for the interview until you feel that talking about your past experiences is second nature. And you may even be advantaged to writing out your examples in advance and referencing them just before the interview so they're fresh on your mind. Ultimately, you'll want to get across 3 points for each example that you share in response to a question. First, share the context